Hey beauties, good afternoon to you, beautiful people. So I had to go to a police station today, to do something. And, I was talking with one of the officers and so on. And I saw a mother and a daughter come. The daughter was in her school uniform. She seemed to be around I carry her to be between 14, 15 to 16, no older than 16. I have her more for 14, 15. And she had a lot of the stitches, gauge thingy on her nose. So I just couldn't look on and not ask why when it's a young person. I said, what happened to your pretty girl? Oh Lord, the mother, oh God, she was beside herself. She said 4 boys or some boys decided that they would go and beat up on the girl. I said, boys? Yes, boys her age decided to beat upon her. I asked her, is it that you had provoked them? But even if, women can be very sassy and saucy with their words, and I'm not saying that it gives them the right to, but that has been from the beginning of time, that women have been sassy and saucy with their words. And men have just ignored, or they have said if they find themselves getting very irate, they say, girl, stop it. Behave yourself. Whatever it is. I remember the days when men would respect women to the point, even when women, I'm not lauding abuse, but sometimes when the women were verbally abusive. It's one of our weaknesses as women, that our words, because we don't have the physical strength, is that the strength is in our tongue. Our tongues, very, very sharp. So she said that you can get up and go to school and one will tell you to S your mother. And they'd beat up on her. And what bothered the mother is that the teacher stood by and watched and did nothing. And when she had gone to the health section there, what you call it again? It's health centers in my mind, but you know what I'm talking about, that section that, if you have any issues and so forth that require medical attention, that the school has, don't remember the name of it. She had gone there and they were begging her not to call her mother, because maybe they're familiar with the mother and they know the kind of mother she is, that she will go to the ministry, she will go everywhere until she gets justice for her daughter. There seemed to be an attack on our adolescents, especially the younger ones, the younger teens. I don't know what's going on, but oh my God, Lord, obviously we know we need divine intervention, but we need measures to be put in place, because we serve an intelligent God and we know we have to put measures in place. And one of the police officers, he said to me, listen to me, a lot of these schools that are of a certain echelon, not the upper echelon, or the, creme de la creme high school, they're like remand centers. And a lot of them, not all, but many of them are remandees in there. And then after they move from there, the next stage is a bigger prison, real prison. The teachers are terrified. The police officer said to me, they are terrified of these young boys because they have this gunman relative or friend and they carry their guns even in the classes, and that the teachers have to be paid even a risk sort of allowance, whatever they call it, because they're not sure if they go to school that they will return home. They're not sure of those teachers, and I know what he's saying is so, because I've spoken to teachers that work down there. They have to be on a different level. There was one, she worked from the lower echelon right up to the upper echelon. That's how brilliant she was. Middle class lady, mid to upper. And she said somehow she garnered the respect of some of these gunmen and all of that, that when war would have broken out, they would say, teacher, we'll protect you, go home. And she said to me, that was I think maybe 2 years ago, and she said her car was the only car that they did not break into when she would go to the school to teach, maybe in the evenings or sometimes during the day when she would have time, because she wanted to help the inner city students. You hear? So I said to the mother, unfortunately, Mom, and I'm not lauding and praising it, I'm not sanctioning it, I'm not advocating or subscribing to it, but unfortunately the teacher more than likely was fearful for her life. from these boys. She probably felt as if she retaliated or tried to stop them, they would have cost, maybe cost her life, created problems for her, and she became fearful. She just couldn't take the blow for the child because it's not like it's her child. I said it to her mother. Mother was so irate, but I said, do what you have to do, Mom. It's your daughter. And the mother said, it's my only child. She's my only child. And I'm not going to make anybody take her from me. My only child. The poor picnic, she said her nose was bleeding, her face was bleeding, and she had to get the stitches. Oh my God. Oh my God. And it broke my heart, when he said, those schools are like him. He called the schools. I won't do that to embarrass the administration. I don't believe in that. To embarrass them. These schools are like remand centers. And the kind of remand centers that he's talking about, they're really not improving what they're doing. They're sharpening their so-called skills and abilities in an evil way, in a diabolical way, to go, when the time comes, they will go to the bigger prisons, the real prisons, when they become old and they're out of the system. And the cycle continues because they will have a little cousin, a little brother that goes to the school, and they are submerged into that kind of culture. They understand what time it is. No more than likely, those boys that decided to beat up on the girl and abuse her verbally, it is what they witness in their homes. Whether it's a father or stepfather or some man that lives with their mother or guardian or whomever it is that they live with, they witness the man beating on the woman. And they in turn internalize that, because especially boys, they tend to be like replicas of what they see. In other words, they grow up in a home. If they're molested, they grow up, unfortunately, and molest somebody else. While women may become promiscuous. That's what I mean. If they grow up and watch their mother being abused verbally and physically, chances are they're going to abuse their women verbally and physically, and if they're molested, they end up molesting. So it's almost like they're a replica of what they got. Boys, so you have to be very careful in what men are exposed to. It's like they're easily influenced. And, they talk about men have the power of authority and women have the power of influence. So it tells a story that women are not so easily influenced, even though Eve was tricked by the serpent. But think about it. Yes, she was tricked. It took some time. And it took a cunning being. Don't bother feel it took a cunning being. It's not like he was an idiot. It's not like a fool came and tricked her. It's a wiser person than her. A wiser person than any human being. Obviously not wiser than God. So that decided to go to her, right? And she was able to convince her husband. You understand what I'm saying? So our boys, and let me tell you, notwithstanding, it's no excuse. There are many people who are grown up in, I don't care what kind of household they grow up into, till you know that you're physically stronger than a girl. Don't care how foolish, don't care how dunce, illiterate, stupid, or backward you think a child may be, they're aware of certain things. You're not that like an empty head. You're aware that you're physically stronger. You know you're a male and you know the strength within you, that physical strength. And to unleash that on a girl, even if she's being facetious, not saying that I sanction that, but that is something that will never stop till Jesus comes. But for 4 boys to go and beat up on the girl, suppose it's how bony the little picnic is, pretty and bony little girl. As in very slim, and I'm not saying the bony in any derogatory way. I'm saying she's so small. They said that they even lift her up and throw her in the garbage. Lift up the little girl and throw her in the garbage. Her mother must get justice. And those boys need to be held accountable. I don't care what kind of whoever they know. But there is a God who is far bigger than them. And what sweet them certainly going to sour them one day. And you see, you parents who expose your boys to these things, you obviously want them to be a statistic. I know sometimes deep in some man's heart, when you can't wait for somehow the police or whatever to get rid of them. But you should be ashamed of yourselves. You should be ashamed to know that it's monsters you bring in. So it looks bad on you. So you're there sit down wishing that they get rid of him. That is going to rest on your conscience to know that you did not do a good job. You allowed the abuse subliminally to damage your children. And decided that you're not going to. The mother said she's a single parent. She's not going to make any man damage her child. You could have done the same. Now you have these boys monsters in these schools. Guys, Follow me on TikTok. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please share this message. Thank you.